This is Nightline.
Tonight, Russell Brand facing explosive sexual assault charges, including rape.
My ex-boyfriend.
Oh, right. Hey, I'm all the snow.
I know who you are. Yeah, you're very, very famous.
Known for blockbuster hits like Forgetting Sarah Marshall and his brief marriage to pop sensation Katy Perry.
It seemed as if Russell Brand was going to be the next big thing.
The comedian denying the allegations in an Instagram post.
I was a fool before I lived in the light of the Lord. But what I never was a rapist.
And what he said about his former wife just before that bombshell announcement. Plus, The Handmaid's Tale, the iconic show now entering its 6th and final season.
Now it's time for them to be afraid of us.
We're with the cast as they reflect on the beginning and end of what became a cultural phenomenon.
They will never see us coming.
Those infamous red cloaks, a symbol of oppression. Could some of the most terrifying villains ever depicted on screen be changing?
She does have an evolution. Whether it's going to be enough is the question, I guess.
And Elizabeth Moss on her big new role off screen.
I wonder, Lizzie, what does that feel like now that you're actually a mother?
And Elton John and Brandi Carlile releasing a new collab album today, which includes the song Who Believes in Angels.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Tonight, we start with those stunning charges against British comedian Russell Brand, once heralded as the next big thing in Hollywood, with hit movies, best-selling books, and a high-profile marriage to superstar Katy Perry. He's now accused of rape and other sexual offenses, which date back decades. Brand denying the allegations and saying he's looking forward to defending himself in court.
It's the early 2010s, and it seems everywhere you look, there's Russell Brand, starring in Hollywood films like Get Him to the Greek, headlining comedy specials like Russell Brand Messiah Complex.
You know that an immigrant is just someone who used to be somewhere else.
And strutting across the red carpet as the husband and arm candy of pop superstar Katy Perry.
At a certain point, it seemed as if Russell Brand was going to be the next big thing. He was married to Katy Perry. He was getting comedy deals. He was being courted by movie producers. Everyone, for a while, wanted to work with Russell Brand.
But Russell Brand of 2025 is facing very serious charges for his alleged behavior from the past. Today, prosecutors in the UK authorized police to charge Brand with multiple sexual offenses involving 4 different women. The UK's Crown Prosecution Service writing in a statement, in part, "We have concluded that Russell Brand should be charged with offenses including rape, sexual assault, and indecent assault. These relate to reported non-recent offenses between 1999 and 2005 involving 4 women." The Metropolitan Police then announcing that charges have been filed.
Russell Brand is facing 4 unique charges, and the most serious of them is rape. That has a penalty of up to life in prison. But sexual assault, for example, is also a serious charge where the maximum is up to 10 years in prison.
Brand responding to the charges online.
I was a fool, man. I was a fool before I lived in the light of the Lord. I was a drug addict, a sex addict, and an imbecile. But what I never was a rapist. I've never engaged in non-consensual activity. I pray that you can see that by looking in my eyes.
The charges come after police launched an investigation into Brand following allegations of rape, sexual assault, and emotional abuse made against him in 2023 in a report by the Times of London, Sunday Times, and Channel 4. 4 women claimed they were assaulted by Brand between 2006 and 2013. One of the accusers says she was just 16 at the time of the alleged assault. They spoke anonymously in the 2023 Channel 4 documentary, Russell Brand in Plain Sight.
I was pushing him away, and so I ended up having to punch him really hard in the stomach to get him off. And I was crying, and he said, "Oh, I only want to see your mascara run anyway."
It's unclear as to whether or not the same 4 individuals who are part of this criminal complaint would be the same that we learned about in the 2023 documentary. And the reason for that is in the documentary, the timeline is anywhere between 2006 to 2013. But what the CPS has put out is that the time frame there is from 1999 to 2005. And so could it be the same people? Yes.
Brand denied the accusations at the time, posting on his social media.
Amidst this
litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. During that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual.
I think the way that he responded to these allegations, I think it's a little bit of a mixed bag, because while he does deny that these things happened, he also acknowledges that there was a period of time in his life that was chaotic.
While it's unclear what connection today's filing has to do with the previous allegations, the criminal charges are the first Russell Brand could be facing in court. Brand got his start as a radio and TV personality in the UK. Here he is on MTV in the early 2000s. People started to learn his name from his charismatic comedy in breakout hit films like Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
My ex-boyfriend.
Oh, right, hey, I'm Alder Snow.
I know who you are, yeah, you're very, very famous.
Yeah, I am, for my sins.
And voicing Dr. Nefario in several of the Despicable Me movies.
Some fella just stole a pyramid.
These were films that were popcorn movies, or well received by audiences. It almost felt like you were seeing a fictionalized version of who Russell Brand actually is in real life.
Releasing a New York Times best-selling autobiography, My Bookie Book, in 2007, which chronicled his public battle with addiction. Something he discussed with former Nightline anchor Bill Weir in 2010.
When did it bottom out? When did you realize you had to make a change?
I'd lost my job at MTV because of some inappropriate crack-induced on-screen lunacy. They said if you continue taking drugs at the rate you are, within 6 months you'll be dead, in prison, or in a lunatic asylum. I considered all three options, and I thought, lunatic asylum, that'll probably be horrible. Death, well, no one knows yet what that entails. And prison, not for with these eyebrows, I don't think so. So I thought, get off the drugs.
Was it difficult?
It was the hardest thing I've ever done.
In 2009, Brand took center stage hosting the Video Music Awards, where his flirtation with Katy Perry led to a real-life romance.
What was it about Katy that touched you?
I think I was growing up anyway, Bill. Eventually I wanted a companion, a friend. So it's the most normal relationship I've ever had. Like the other day, seriously, we were getting ready, Bill, to go out. She goes, "Oh, you're wearing that shirt, are you?" And I went, "Yeah." Bill, I did not wear that.
A little more than a year after getting together, they married in a lavish wedding in India. But just 14 months after tying the knot, he and Katy Perry divorced. Their breakup documented in Perry's 2012 documentary, Part of Me. The heart-wrenching scene showing the moment she says Brand asked her for a divorce via text right before she went on stage for a show.
There is a viral moment in Katy Perry's documentary where she finds out that Russell Brand no longer wants to be married, and she's very emotional, she's crying. And then she snaps to it, puts on her game face, and goes out and performs.
Brand recently commenting on his podcast, Stay Free, about their breakup.
And the reasons that our marriage didn't work are the normal human reasons. Marriages don't work, and I have nothing but respect for her, even though I obviously disagree with her political views.
Brand's own political views in recent years have leaned conservative. He's posted photos on Instagram from his visit to President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. He's also talked about his commitment to Christianity in a recent interview with Sean Hannity on Fox News.
Since becoming Christian, I recognize that many of the principles that were made clear to me in 12-step recovery reach a kind of fulfillment, continuation, and elevation.
There's been a colossal change in Russell Brand's public image. He went from being this yogi, wellness, kind of hippie, funny guy guru to now being this Trump-inspired, hanging out with Fox News hosts, Christian conservative. Significant difference.
Brand is expected in court for the first time on May 2nd. Much like the U.S., if the case against Russell Brand does go to trial, it'll be the prosecution's burden to prove each and every element of the crime beyond a reasonable doubt in order to convict Russell Brand.
Up next, The Handmaid's Tale. We're with the cast as they discuss the 6th and final season of the show that became a cultural phenomenon.
Hey, Nightline, congratulations on 45 years.
Thanks, Kevin. You know, The Handmaid's Tale is a show that met the moment, depicting a dystopian and oppressive society. The show's red cloaks becoming a symbol of modern-day protests. Now it's coming to an end after 6 memorable seasons. ABC's Matt Gutman sat down with the cast.
For years, we've been afraid of them.
The revolution is headed to Gilead.
Now it's time for them to be afraid of us.
As the 6th and final season of Hulu's series The Handmaid's Tale premieres.
Rise up and fight for your freedom!
The hit series is based on the best-selling book by Canadian author Margaret Atwood.
We're not living in Gilead yet, but there are Gilead-like symptoms going on.
Nightline went behind the scenes with Atwood and star Elizabeth Moss back in 2018 when season 2 was in production.
I don't usually do a lot of laughing or smiling while I'm wearing this.
The series has been out for almost 10 years, winning 15 Emmy Awards and 2 Golden Globes, creating a global cultural phenomenon along the way, real-life protesters dressing up in the iconic red cloaks and high-end fashion influenced by the show's costumes.
Handmaids in the city.
Even skits on SNL.
As I waited for the girls in downtown Gilead, I was feeling like an uptown Galiad, and I couldn't help but wonder, are women allowed to do anything anymore? This one's on you.
The star and executive producer of the show, Elizabeth Moss, plays June Osborne and recently welcomed her first child.
I wonder, Lizzie, what does that feel like now that you're actually a mother?
Aw, I've played moms my whole career. Strangely, I've always played a mom. I've either been pregnant or been a mom, but I will say that being a mom definitely is different. I think it definitely did have an effect on June this season, and right? It's just the emotion of it is so close. You know, you can talk about your child on the show, your fictional child. It's impossible not to think about the real child and to draw those parallels in a very emotional way. Plus, I was really tired.
The series is set in a totalitarian regime in what used to be the U.S. at some point in the near future.
We can't just let them win.
The new American regime is a theocracy where women are oppressed and aren't even allowed to read.
What's happening?
Rebellion. Samira Wiley has been on the show since its first episode.
I killed a commander. I thought so much in season 6 about who was Moira in season 1, and sort of like a full circle of getting back to her spirit, getting back to what made her fight in the very beginning, finding a way for her to be able to get back to that original fire inside of her that made her who she is.
The anti-heroes, they're back too. The often brutal Aunt Lydia.
What used to make me laugh in the beginning when people say, how do you get yourself to that dark place? And I thought, oh, gee, I'll have to come up with something. My answer was, I can't get there fast enough. I mean, these are wonderful characters to play. But at the end of the day, we don't bring the consequences home.
And Serena Joy.
Do you understand me?
Who now has to reckon with the misogynistic system.
Let the revolution begin.
She helped create.
She does have an evolution. Whether it's going to be enough is the question, I guess.
God's justice will prevail. Luke will find you in Vancouver. Gilead won't matter, and your family will be together again.
Yvonne brought the complexity and the vulnerability. I don't think Serena would be the same without Yvonne's performance. Absolutely, period. I don't think any other actress could have done what she did with Serena.
To leave Janine to ruin in that den of depravity, my other girls too, it's unconscionable.
Aunt Lydia sort of started out thinking that she was doing these heinous things to the women because they would be rewarded. But in season 6, she starts to realize that's not the case. How does she cope with that realization?
I think it's a very difficult transition, but thankfully it happens over time. And I can't say what happens at the end, it's a spoiler, but it's enough to profoundly change her.
In 2019, when season 3 was in production, my colleague Maggie Rulli visited the sets in Canada where the series was being filmed.
This is where last season sort of ended, with Aunt Lydia getting thrown off the stairs. Yes, this is the staircase.
What are you going to miss most about the show?
I mean, obviously the people, and obviously seeing these faces every day.
We have so much fun on set. As a director, I can speak to the fact that it's like herding kittens. People are like, how do you let it go? You know, it's so serious. And I'm like, I would love for these guys to be serious for a second so we can shoot a scene.
I'm going to miss Moira a lot. I've never played a character for this long, and I'll miss June, and I'll miss Serena. It's a very interesting thing to have these fictional people exist for almost a decade.
Where will the darkness go? Where will our darkness go? And it's so true, because I think that's part of the grieving process of, you can unload so much into these complex characters.
Right.
You put so much into all of them.
Our thanks to Matt. The final season of The Handmaid's Tale premieres next Tuesday, April 8th on Hulu. Up next, Sir Elton John and Brandi Carlile collaborating on a new record, which features the song Who Believes in Angels? And finally tonight, new music from a dream team. The collaboration between British legend Sir Elton John and American country star Brandi Carlile features the single Who Believes in Angels, which is also the title of the album. The longtime friends, both gifted songwriters, writing and recording 10 songs over 20 days. They say pushing each other out of their comfort zones. Elton John's longtime collaborator Bernie Taupin also contributing lyrics. The 78-year-old Oscar winner saying the project was one of the most joyous and exhilarating experiences. And that's Nightline for tonight. You can watch all of our full episodes on Hulu. We'll see you right back here, same time Monday. Thanks for staying up with us. Good night, America.